Welcome to Backstage with Becca B, with special guest Alex Nee.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Backstage with Becca B, episode 4. I know today's guest from Romeo and Juliet, Love is a Battlefield, Volume 2 at Prospect Theater in Los Angeles. But he's also been in the UK-US National Tour of American Idiot, and he was in the first National Tour of Ones, and recently made his Broadway debut in A Christmas Carol last December. So please welcome Alex Nee. Thanks for joining me on this. I've been trying to get this interview thing started for like about a month, and I'm like, perfect timing.
Nice.
I'm home and I have like a little studio in my backyard playhouse, so it's been nice.
Oh, I thought you meant the green screen behind you. I think. Are we gonna put some wild graphics and stuff?
It's actually not a green screen. It's actually just a wall.
You just painted it green?
It's in my playhouse. My childhood playhouse.
Wait,
So,
really?
yeah.
Wow. That's so convenient for modern times.
Right? It's a little hot because like there's no air conditioning, so I have like a fan and then like a fan that hopefully kind of works, but it's fine.
I'm actually also in the part of this house that doesn't get the AC because it has the most like windows and natural light, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I already did like a pre-introduction, so I'll just get like right into, I have like a ton of questions, and then I have like an Instagram portion. I've been like posting like short form videos on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
That are like teasers.
Well, let's get into it. Cheers.
Yes. I don't have any names to cheers.
Well, for me, every event that I've been at with you has involved a 2-drink minimum, so.
That's true.
Here's my beer.
Yes. Okay. So my first question is, have you always known that you wanted to be an actor in theater?
As far as I can remember, but I really don't remember past like, I don't know, 5 years old, you know. Beyond that, it's a little hazy, but I was in plays in preschool even, and always loved it. So I guess so. Yeah, it's always been like the extracurricular that I've done in school, and I've always, you know, been excited if I've been called up for like a volunteer at, you know, some stupid magic show or karaoke event. My mom was telling me this story where I'm in the Jersey Shore right now, and she was telling me the other day that when I was 3, I got like plopped on top of this counter for like one of the water gun games to demonstrate the Macarena. So I guess I like being on stage. Yeah.
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 Was there like a certain show that you first saw that made you realize that like you wanted to be up on stage doing musical theater as a profession?
Yeah, probably. The first show I ever saw on Broadway was Cats, actually, which is a fun hot topic these days.
It is.
It is.
Have you seen the movie?
I've refused to. It may or may not be good, but I'm about to describe like a very cherished experience that's very like innocent and youthful, and I just don't want to change that at all. I've never seen it since I was 7 years old. I saw it when I was 7, and I got an aisle seat, and the like all white. Does she have a name? Like she's very pretty. Like
she does. I just saw it on tour. I know the name.
Was it Taylor Swift in the movie? Unfortunately, or something.
Here I'm looking this up. White cat.
I didn't see the movie, but I think she's like all shock white.
Victoria?
Yeah.
I think maybe.
Was it Taylor Swift?
I'm not sure. I think maybe Taylor Swift played like some. I don't know who she played in the movie. I didn't watch it either.
Oh well, probably a good idea from what I've heard. Anyways, that cat came up to me when they're all hiding in the audience and was right next to my aisle seat, like crouched. And I remember feeling like permission and invited to like interact with her as a cat, you know, like in this improv scenario or whatever, but I'm 7. So I like was petting her and stuff, and she was, you know, it was very fun. And I was like, oh my God, this is what people talk about is Broadway, is like getting to be silly and interact with strangers.
Did you know the cats would come up to you? Because I didn't know if you were on an island that they would come up.
No. I doubt I knew much of anything about the show before I saw it.
Yeah, it terrified me when I first saw it. I was like, what? They come up to you in
How
the
old
audience?
was
It was like 2 years ago.
I think if you're more adult, you have more of an understanding of how messed up and creepy it is. But when you're a kid, it's like, oh.
Yeah, I was wearing cat ears, and like they touched the cat ears, and I was, who is touching my head?
That sounds kind of like the Rockwell, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. My third question was, what was the first theater show you saw live, which you just answered. So you toured with the first national tour once, yeah?
I did, yeah.
So what was that experience like, and how did you get cast in that?
Well, it was definitely like a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And I try not to say that lightly. I don't say that about most things, but it really, I spent almost 3 years of my life on tour with that show and did almost 900 performances of it. So it was my life for a pretty formative, you know, I got cast when I was 21, and then I did it till I was 24, I guess, almost 25. And so, yeah, it was just a huge part of my life. And I loved it. I had a great time. I'd always dreamed of being in bands growing up. But I ended up finding that theater was much more what I fit into naturally. So this was a crossover of both, you know, and just super exciting. And all these great musicians. We recorded multiple albums on the tour. Different people, you know, had their original music, and then got a group of us to go into a studio while we were in a place for a month and record albums. And so it definitely just elevated my musical experience. And like broke down a lot of those fears of just jamming in front of people, which was a big thing, you know, in high school. I'd be like, I want to be in a band. People would say, hey, come jam with us. And then it'd be so intimidating, and I'd freak out and like forget how to play the guitar. But every show, you know, for 20 to 30 minutes before the show, we did a live pub jam with people on stage drinking beers. And so it's so unlike, you know, most theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your favorite city to go to on the tour? How many cities did you go to?
I don't know the exact number.
Over like 3 years, a lot probably.
Yeah. I can say at least 50 cities in the United States. And then we did Tokyo for a month. We did Toronto and Vancouver. And actually Vancouver is probably my favorite city. Well, that's tough because Tokyo is, I love Japan so much. Yeah. But I think if I were to move to Japan, I wouldn't want to live in Tokyo necessarily. I'd more go somewhere a bit quieter. Tokyo's like the max.
Yeah, wow.
But Vancouver is the city I would want to move to in Canada. And it's just gorgeous and artsy and has a lot of variety and diversity and great food, great seafood, which I'm a big fan of. So love it.
And is there like a schedule when you're doing 8 shows a week? Like, do you have a set routine on days off?
Yeah, it's usually travel.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, a travel day counts as a day off.
Oh.
So, usually travel, but I mean, you kind of, you know, it's not like your whole day is occupied. So you have 8 shows a week, which is a lot and very exhausting. But I think you build your self-care skills and free time into the, you know, first 6 hours of your day every day. that you have free, and then you kind of ramp up into whatever time the show is at to be kind of most energetic, which is hard on weekends and matinees because you only have, an hour or two to do that, maybe.
And a short time in between. People don't realize. So then, like, they're out, like, I mean, if there's people, like, waiting after the show or something, they don't realize that you have another show to go to later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I would almost miss dinner and stuff because of that.
Yeah. That's crazy. I can't, like, so many props to you all who do 8 shows a week. It's insane.
It was a nice crash course coming out of only doing theater primarily in school. And then you basically only do 3 or maybe 4 shows a week on the weekends, which is also hard, but to crash right into a full-blown tour was hard at first, and I had to call out a decent amount, like on American Idiot. But it definitely got my body and voice in shape to just kind of barrel through anything.
Yeah, I was going to ask about American Idiot too. You did US and UK? Or?
Yes, we started in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like where in the UK? Everywhere?
Yeah, most of it. I mean, all the countries: Scotland, Wales, England, Ireland.
So jealous.
But like we only did, 1 city in Wales. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite city there was Edinburgh, I'd have to say.
Okay.
Even though I'm Irish, I mean, I should say Dublin, but Edinburgh beat it out.
I'm jealous. I want to go on a little tour of the UK. I've always wanted to go sightseeing there.
It's wonderful. It's so inviting and exciting and historic. I mean, compared to living in the US, you go into a pub and you're like, oh, this is from the 1500s, Kevin.
Yeah.
And no one even cares.
Yeah, it's just. So what first introduced you to the LA theater community? Because I first saw you in Romeo and Juliet at Prospect in 2016?
That was right after I'd moved there. That was my first project there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you get involved in it?
I had met Jordan Kai Burnett on the Once tour.
Okay.
Just socially, basically. And she saw the show and whatnot. And then I guess as they were transferring it to this next iteration, the Romeo and Juliet project, Bradley was kind of asking people like, oh, who should I think about for playing Romeo? And Jordan suggested me. And then, like a month or 2 after I moved to LA, I just went and got lunch with Bradley, which was very fun on the Warner Brothers lot.
When, like, probably in between when he was for the Fosters.
He was doing the Fosters.
Working on the Fosters, yeah.
Yeah, he was doing the Fosters. So we got lunch and then we basically just decided to give it a try and start working together on that project. And I think we started in April. So 3 months after I moved to LA.
And then it ran for like 2 or 3 months that summer? Or a couple weeks.
Yeah, good long time. I think until September, so.
Yeah. And, I mean, what was your favorite thing about that show?
The group of people. And the group of people. I mean, it was so unlike most theater experiences I'd had in terms of setup and format, and we're working like late night at a bar and this whole different thing that I'd never done, but they all made it really fun. And I mean, they're all superb musicians and singers, so fun to sing good rock music with crazy singers.
Yeah, it's a special kind of show because it's like LA theater prime to me. Yeah. Where like you go, you sit down, you can order food, all the actors are around you. I'd
never done that before. And that was a lot of fun, but that was also definitely challenging to have to incorporate this whole kind of like split brain of navigating, just a service aisle, basically.
Yeah, and not crash into waiters.
And not have it impact like your overall character or performance or whatever.
Yeah, I've never actually thought about that, like how you all, if you're like walking down an aisle and there's like someone walking back from like, I don't know, the restroom or something.
Yeah.
Like how you all think about that quickly and know what you're going to do in the moment.
Yeah. Well, and unfortunately you have to try to get to a place where you don't think about it, where just you react, but that's hard. And I wasn't always successful at that.
Most people, I think, tried to wait to go to get up to intermission though.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. But
It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And it as a first intro to LA, it introduced me to like the kind of pockets that I basically would stick with while I was there.
And it's developing more right now, or was, right?
Yes, it's been in development. I got to do it last summer in Bay Harbor in the Hamptons, outdoors with Pat Benatar and Neil involved, and it was super cool. And they were trying to get it to Broadway before things kind of shut down.
Before COVID said hi.
Yeah, man.
It ruined everything.
What an unwelcome guest, huh?
Yeah, no one invited COVID.
No one.
Like, I don't know why it happened. And you made your Broadway debut, what was it, November or December last year? In the Christmas Carol. How was that?
Yeah, I think we opened in October.
Okay.
Yeah, we did a Christmas Carol. Actually, I remember on Halloween we were doing a Christmas Carol, and so I'm walking through the audience saying, "Merry Christmas"
On Halloween.
on Halloween. So that was funny, but yeah, it was amazing, and I really loved it. It was written by Jack Thorne, who did the Harry Potter adaptation.
Oh.
Yeah. Who is a great writer, and so it's very dark and spooky and anti-capitalist, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I loved it.
I would love for that to come back. So I love the Christmas Carol.
Well, the plan is and was to do it every season for as long as that would last. So I actually sort of had a guaranteed Broadway job this Christmas, but Broadway is shut down. So
2021.
Yeah. I mean, let's sure hope so. There was a New York Times article in the midst of this summer where they were like, and a couple Broadway producers are holding out hope for putting up one holiday show. And I was like, that's us, we're gonna do it.
Yes,
and then,
please.
But no, it's officially shut down.
Let's do like a small scale one somewhere. I keep having hope Rockwell will open up premature, like a little, like maybe October through December, because it's so small.
Maybe. But again, you have to also consider the performers,
Yeah.
Even if there's no exactly touching or kissing or whatever, performances usually involve pretty kind of close contact. And there's this whole thing of, singing is like projecting it so much further than breathing or speaking. So
well, I saw that in Hamilton. The HD version of Hamilton.
Right. That was
prime
great.
example of that. And everyone knows what I'm talking about.
It's not traumatic if you don't spit.
I mean, it made it entertaining. So you have a long regional list of shows that you've done in like different cities, yeah?
Yeah, it's been around, yeah.
So what's been your favorite show to participate in? Whether it's regional or Broadway?
Well, actually, that's an easier answer than I might think. I've really enjoyed most of them, but Cabaret would be my favorite to date, just because that's been a dream role and show since I was 13 when I first saw it. So I got to do that at the celebration.
Yeah.
Which I know. I know you know.
I'm still sad I missed that.
You should be, because it was kind of the best. It was kind of great.
But I saw the other one at Celebration Theater about Pray Love.
Oh yeah, well that was fun. I love Ryan O'Connor. We got to do that in New York. That was actually the last performance I did before the COVID shutdown.
Oh yeah, I forgot that it was in March or February.
In March.
Like,
yeah.
Okay, I forgot that he was doing that, and I was like, oh, this is cutting it close. I was like watching.
I thought we were gonna cancel it, but we did it, and then I think 3 days later, Broadway shut down.
Oh my god!
And I was in tech for a show in Connecticut at that point, and that was fun.
Just when the whole world came crashing down slowly, we were all watching it and like
it was wild.
Hoping for the best, but
yeah, pretty crazy.
Remember, I had like 10 shows playing that month that I was going to go see, and I was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to start working Hamilton.
That must have been for you, and you know,
yeah.
I remember seeing Stephen Stanley posting like, it's been 40 days since I've seen a show. And I'm like, oh my god.
It's been the longest I've gone without seeing a show, and it's hard.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's hard for you all as performers to like be not on stage performing in front of an audience and getting that reaction and stuff. Like virtual stuff, fantastic, but you're not getting a reaction.
I mean, that is definitely part of it, the being in front of an audience, but that is honestly, in the scheme of things, pretty rare over like what I get to do most of the time in this job. And so I just honestly miss like workshops and rehearsals, you know, and like walking into a rehearsal room and everyone's like, give me a hug, you know, and all of that, singing with people. I will say that I've done a few of these like a cappella app, you know, talking head singing things. It's not very comparable. The end result is great and it's a nice product, but doing it, no fun.
And there are Zoom performances, but it's like you don't actually get to interact with the people who you're in a show with on Zoom.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do them and you know, test things out, try different things, but not the same.
No. And it's not the same watching either, because then you're clapping for a computer. You're not like I feel insane if I'm clapping for a computer. If you could revive any musical on Broadway or regionally and cast yourself in it, what would it be?
Well, I'll come up with a more interesting answer, but the first answer is what I just said as my favorite show would be Cabaret. I know it just got a revival, but that was 24 years ago, 96, Alan Cumming. And I think you know, worth revisiting Weimar Nazi Germany right now, unfortunately. And it's probably the favorite role I've ever done. So that would be my top choice.
So bring it to Broadway or something, or regional, or for me in LA.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There has been vague talk about trying to just remount that production, because it was pretty special in terms of Michael Mayer. Sorry. Oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. Michael Matthews directed it. And he really kind of rewrote a lot of the script in a way to really point the finger at current times and current presidents. So that would be fun. Besides that, let's see what my next one would be. Pippin, I was pretty jealous of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that live either. Would want to on my bucket list.
You should. And I do a lot of circus stuff in my free time. That's a lot of my hobbies, and I would love to do that on stage. So.
Did you get to bring any of that circus stuff in when you were doing Beauty and the Beat? I forgot that.
Yes, I did. Yeah. Doing a little bit of juggling.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure I remember you like coming up and showing off those skills.
Yeah, I had some light up juggling balls that mostly I was doing like contact juggling where you're, rolling it on yourself.
Yeah, and I was like, how is that happening? Mind blown. This is a popular thing in LA and on Broadway now. If you could turn any movie or TV show into a musical, what would it be?
Well, the one that's been tried so many times that I can't believe it hasn't been done like fully is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
I don't understand. I mean, it's honestly a great text. Like, the music's all good. Why has it not been done in a like full, kind of big scale production?
I agree. And I have a friend who is very into that, who's not into Broadway, who I could probably convince to go see it if it was a musical.
No, I do. Well, it is a musical. I mean, the movie is like
if it was a live musical.
Right. And I think a lot of people are in that boat of, oh, I don't like musical theater, but I like this musical that,
Yeah.
And it feeds into kind of our limited attention span. It's like an hour 15, maybe. Easy.
I'm surprised sometimes that my attention span holds up in theater, but I think it just helps when like people are in front of you and
it does.
It's real and people in front of you instead of like a screen in front of you at a movie theater.
Definitely. I do still think even with that, there's some value, depending on the content, of not having an intermission and just really building all that momentum.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about your intermission.
And where it is, if like people are gonna have enough motivation to come back after intermission.
To even come back.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Where you're leaving the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta leave it on a hook to hook the audience for more.
Whereas like 80 minutes, no intermission, no choice. You're stuck.
I've seen people after the last number in the first act, I've seen people go, oh, I guess that was the end of the show. And I'm like, no, wait. Don't leave. I think there's a second act you want to see.
Well, you know who did that pretty masterfully? I'll try not to say any spoilers, but Harry Potter on Broadway not only has to deal with 2 intermissions, but they have to deal with 2 separate shows. So getting you to come back in between. But they really, really do.
Yeah. And
have you seen it?
I have not.
Okay.
It's on my list.
They pull an amazing makeover of the entire theater. That's what I'll say. That makes you go, oh my God, and need to like see what happens the next day.
Does it make you feel like you're in like the movies or the books?
Well, it does during the show, but the makeover I'm talking about, like in the interval, in the intermission and after the first show, is actually physically of the physical theater.
Wow.
And so the lights come up and you're like, wait, where am I?
Magic?
Yeah. Well, and yeah. And just really a proper cliffhanger, dun, the villain is gonna win.
What's gonna happen next?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like in the break between the last movie.
Yeah.
Where I had to wait like 6 months to a year or something like that. And I was like...
Luckily with that one, we like knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah, if you read the books.
Did you not read the books?
No, I did.
Oh.
I did. But my sisters didn't, I don't think. So they were like, what's going to happen? I'm like, I can't tell you.
Yeah.
Who inspires you as an actor?
I'm just going to keep talking about Cabaret, but Alan Cumming definitely does. But I'll mention something else he did, besides Cabaret. Like, he did a one-man, I'm not in the theater, so a one-man production of Macbeth. And, I thought it was incredibly amazing. I really like very physical performers, like Tom Hardy, I think is someone I want to learn things from in terms of accessing like animal physicality and stuff. Yeah, I really like that kind of, Heath Ledger as well. Creepy people is my
There's a trend.
Yeah, there's a trend. But also, to mention some female performers, so I'm not just talking about who I like directly want to be. But I would say Patti LuPone and
a legend.
Yeah, and Bernadette Peters is one of my favorites.
Another legend.
Total legend. I saw her in Gypsy when I was quite young, and I thought it was like the best thing I've ever seen. And not just the best, but like the scariest. And I thought she was gonna like collapse dead on stage,
Yeah.
That's kind of what I like to see in performers is you're like, are you gonna make it through this?
Just like believable performances.
Yeah. Well, yeah, people are always saying make the circumstances life and death. If it's truly that level, then the audience should be like scared that you're about to like die on stage.
And completely hooked and not wanting to take out their phones and
well, or if they do, Patti LuPone will shove it down your esophagus.
I love people who are able to call people out in a sassy way on social media for taking out their phones during a Broadway show.
Yeah.
I just want to give them a standing ovation just for that.
You shouldn't do it. Just turn them off.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Unless it's like Rockwell.
Unless it's what?
Unless it's Rockwell and they're telling you to turn it on. Or Prospect.
True. But you can film things without having, you could turn your data off or whatever. Well, I guess I don't know how you do it if you like live on everything, but you could airplane mode and film everything.
Yeah, that's what I do. Otherwise, your phone battery dies.
Well, right, and then exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes crashing down.
I'll just say what I thought of one more performer who I've recently been enamored with is MJ Rodriguez. I've been watching, I binged Pose recently and cried watching that Suddenly Seymour clip. I was like, oh my God.
Did you see Little Shop Live when it was?
I didn't get to, no.
Was it when you were in New York?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was good. I had never watched the show live before. I had seen it when my dad was obsessed with it while I was a kid, and I would walk in and there would be a giant plan on the screen on our TV, and I'd be like, Dad, I'm gonna have nightmares, but it was good. It was interesting.
Good.
What advice would you give to your younger self as a performer?
Practice more. The skill things that I knew I really liked and enjoyed. Juggling, unicycling, playing guitar, singing, anything like that. I think I would say, don't be afraid to be a bit of a nerd about it and practice more and not just try to jam and perform and,
But are you one of those people who picks up stuff fast?
Yeah, but it kind of means that I don't necessarily elevate beyond that initial like level of picking it up, and I try a lot of things, which is good. But just say I had, you know, practiced an hour a day more on guitar, I would now be like great.
An expert.
Yeah.
No, I totally get, like, commit to something for more time.
Yeah. Well, and you know, work through the boring and hard parts that at the time seem like, this isn't any fun, but will actually make it a lot more fun when you're able to just live in it and not think about any of that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I go.
Yeah.
I have those regrets as well. Where I'm like, I should have done this more instead of this. Or
it's not like I wish I didn't do any of the things that I did, but I just, there were times where I was like literally staring at my wall, you know?
Yeah.
And I could have just, practiced.
So right now, I'm doing a lot of staring at walls.
Mm-hmm. We had an outage yesterday, and I was like, the internet is down?
Oh my God, no! No! You're like, I'm in the olden days.
Yeah.
There's no internet.
And I can't go say hi to people.
Panic attack. What am I gonna do? How do you think that live theater will be different when it's able to come back eventually?
Well,
Deep question.
yeah, deep question. That's a tough question, because it's funny, like before any of this happened, a lot of my thoughts about live theater were I want it to be more interactive. I want it to be, you know, more intimate and all of that. And I did, on the other hand, just go see this drive-in drag show.
Oh, I read your feel about that.
It was not a good experience, but it taught me some. I mean, it could have been a decent experience, but the company was clearly cutting corners and whatnot, and sort of taking advantage of the performers. But it did show me that I don't think we should go to drive-in style of theater or seating. I mean, there's no connection, there's no intimacy to the performers. So I hope that it becomes more accessible for just any, you know, I hope that it becomes more government funded. I'm going to be honest, you know, seeing what the UK is doing and knowing what Germany has done for a long time. I think not unfortunately, but it's, you know, do we want a society with great art? We have to pay for it. We pay for all these programs. So government fund it, make it more intimate, but you see so many fewer people. You're not just jamming sardines in. And it's a special experience that, you know, people get to come enjoy it, but it's maybe cheaper, but harder to get a ticket.
Yeah.
Would be my hope.
I hope cheaper for people, because there's so many people I know who have never seen live theater who are like, what's the experience like? And I'm like, you kind of like can't describe it unless you go see it, but tickets are so expensive.
I do think that this is proving that the business models and cost structures of theaters are completely untenable. You know, they're just unreasonable and not going to work unless you're just operating at full fantasy capacity. And now we're at the opposite of that, like no capacity. So I do think the government should step in and fund these things. I mean, it really wouldn't even cost that much.
Yeah. And it's like people shouldn't be going to ask, like, what's the cheapest ticket that you have available, and get, like, if they don't know about Lottery or Rush, get like the $99 seats that are in the way back of the mezzanine, because that's still expensive.
Very much so. But it's going to have to be, you know, smaller spaced apart audiences. even I think well after this, people will not be willing to rub shoulders with a stranger. And then also just hopefully more safety in the workplace for performers and whatnot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't really see it coming back in any meaningful way, at least that we understand now, until we can like interact as performers, which means a vaccine or some solution more than like, oh, the numbers are low.
While I'm hopeful or want to be hopeful, I'm like, I don't see it coming back even in January.
No.
At this point.
No. But there are some good signs with a couple of companies doing vaccines.
Yes.
And hopefully it's not more than a year or so. I don't know. I don't claim to know any timeline at all, but I do think it won't, theaters are trying to do these like one-person plays for people in cars,
And Six was trying to do a drive-in thing in London.
Yeah, and I went and I tried it, and I'm just going to be honest, it's just not, it's not worthwhile.
Yeah. Like you're in your cars, you have to turn on a radio station probably.
Yeah. But they also were playing an acoustic or like from speakers on the stage. So it was actually delayed. So you were just hearing this like crazy smattering of sound.
Yeah. And it's just,
I think the only thing that drive-ins will work for is like rock bands and like loud music. Like an outdoor music festival.
And movies still.
And what?
And movies still.
Yeah.
Although I've never been to a drive-in movie.
Yeah.
I think it's time. What are you going to do first once quarantine ends?
How will I know when it ends? What am I going to do music festivals, actually, just mentioning them, are a big thing I miss. I was definitely planning on going to Burning Man this year. So, large stranger gatherings.
And feeling comfortable in a crowd.
Around performance, or what'd you say?
Feeling comfortable in a crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, because, well, actually, and here's another thing, is play basketball in a group. Like play a pickup game.
Did you play basketball like when you were younger, like on a team? Or?
I did briefly, and I quickly quit. I was very not into team sports when I was a little kid. But since college, I've actually like enjoyed playing casual basketball.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We played it a lot on tour, actually. That was a thing like a lot of us would do on our off days and whatnot.
It's a fun way to get like an exercise routine in.
Yeah.
Instead of just jogging by yourself or something. Yeah,
it's social and exciting and kind of like improv.
Yeah. Lastly, have you been working on anything in quarantine, or do you have anything that's like coming out virtually that you'd want to tease?
Yeah, it's not really under my name, but I've been helping my girlfriend Amanda Jerry on a lot of her music, and we've been producing music, and we released like the first song under her artist name a month ago that we did during quarantine. That was actually like spurred on by this quarantine specific like music video thing that our friend commissioned us to write music for, and yeah, it was cool. It was like very specific, but we're super happy with it. And so yeah, you can find that on Spotify, Amanda Lee Jerry, and it's called Isolations. But we're gonna be releasing some more music soon. Yeah.
Okay, you'll have to send me the link, and I'll put it in like.
I'll send you the link. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. We actually randomly got hit up by a Thai, like from Thailand, commercial company doing like a big real estate commercial. And
Oh.
yeah, and they were like, hey, your song is like perfect for the message we're going for and really nails the times. So can we buy it from you for this commercial? So first song we put out, we sold not exclusive rights, but they're going to use it for the commercial. So.
Well, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And where can people find you on social media and all that to keep up with what you're doing?
Just search my name, Alex Nee, Alex Nee 42, which is the number of life, the meaning of life and everything, according to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never put that together.
I had to. There was already an Alex Nee. Actually, someone keeps trying. They emailed me the other day. They keep trying to sell me my name.com. The first offer when I tried to buy it was $4,000. I was like, no.
No.
But they hit me up the other day and they're like, do you want it for 300? No.
Like, do I want my name for 300?
So I had to pick a number, so I picked 40.
Okay, that's smart. Yeah, clever.
But yeah, hit me up. I'm not doing much else these days, so just kind of on social media.
Same. Social media is what would we do without it?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're doing this show. It was fun to get to chat.
Thanks for watching this episode of Backstage with Becca B. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Becca B Talks TV, and you can follow me on Instagram at Backstage with Becca B for more exclusive content from these interviews. And make sure to go give my new Facebook page, Backstage with Becca B, a like. Thank you. Bye.